entire month of February, we have Black History Moment, a moment in Black history. And our youth always brings us someone who has done some spectacular things in Black history. But history is made every day. Every day. You know, we're grateful for the shoulders that we stand on, for all of those who are come and who have gone. But God keeps blessing us with those who are making history daily, monthly and weekly. And we have such a group in our presence this morning. So I want to do a quick introduction for some who already know them and for those who don't. We are honored to have the Buffalo Soldiers in our presence this morning. And just a little excerpt that we have. The National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club is an organization of professional men and women that are dedicated to the sport of motorcycle riding and safety. They ride motorcycles, which they call their iron horses, to represent the horses that were ridden by the Buffalo Soldiers during the 1800s. Their objective is to educate those that are unfamiliar with racism, sacrifices, and hardships that the Buffalo Soldiers of the 9th and 10th U.S. Cavalries had to endure. The NABSTMC's vision is to instill this knowledge into the minds and hearts of youth of today so that they can motivate them to become better citizens and leaders of tomorrow. They feel that by doing this, the legacy of the Buffalo Soldiers of the past will live on forever and shall not be forgotten. There are over 120 chapters in 5 frontiers throughout the United States and overseas. Their colors represent a long history which they wear with pride and respect, paying homage to African Americans of the 9th and 10th Cavalry who sacrificed their lives so that our country could be what it is today. Without further ado, let us stand. And as I turn this over into the hands of the Buffalo Soldiers, let's give them a hand.
We'd like to thank you all very much for having us here this morning. First, giving honor to God and the pastor, Dr. Horton, Minister Chris, for inviting us. Thank you so very much. We are here to honor the service of all military members. But today, we give specific honor to the Buffalo Soldiers and their legacy. I am Ralph McNeil. I am president of the local chapter, of the Raleigh chapter, here in North Carolina. And we would definitely like to take this opportunity to introduce you to each of our members of the organization by their road name, and I'll let them stand one at a time and give their road name. All right, now.
I'm Jazzy J. I'm Lady Chief. Good morning.
Geronimo.
Third one.
No problem.
They will.
I'm Queen B.
Little suit. Cobra. Deal man.
Short man. Good morning, St. John, Mr. Saint. Brother Fred, church.
Brother's keeper.
fucked up.
And here on the stage with me, I have Professor Q, Chief, and Top Gun, and I am Matador. So at this particular time, we will start right into the Buffalo Soldier history with Professor Q.
During the Civil War, the U.S. government formed regiments known as the United States Colored Troops, composed of black soldiers and Native Americans, and it was disbanded in 1865. Congress on July the 28th, 1866, with the passage of the Army Organization Act, gave 6 regiment Negro troops were authorized, 2 cavalry regiments, the 9th and the 10th, 4 infantry regiments, the 38th, the 39th, the 40th, and the 41st. In 1869, the regular army was kept at 10 regiments, the 24th and the 25th. The 38th and the 41st were organized as the 25th. Headquartered in New Orleans in Louisiana. The 39th and the 40th were reorganized as the 24th, with the headquarters in Fort Clark, Texas in April 1869. The 10th was formed at Leavenworth, Kansas, and on September the 21st, 1866, moved to Fort Riley, Kansas in 1867. The motto, ready and forward. The 9th was formed on September the 21st, 1866 in New Orleans, Louisiana. Motto, we can and we will.
In May 1944, the 9th and 10th was deactivated. Prior to that time, we only had one female that was a part of the Buffalo Soldiers. She went by the name of William Cathy, but her name was actually Cathy Williams. She was the only female soldier that served and enlisted in the 38th Infantry in 1866. She served for 2 years before a doctor discovered she was a woman, leading to her discharge. The Buffalo Soldiers' main charge was to protect settlers as they moved west and to support the westward expansion by building the infrastructure needed for new settlements to flourish. Soldiers enlisted for 5 years and they received $13 per month as pay. They were involved in many different engagements, such as the American Indian Wars, the American War, the Banana Wars, the Spanish-American War, the Philippine-American War, the Mexican Border War, World War I, World War II, and the Battle of San Juan Hill, which was with Theodore Roosevelt. As many of y'all know, you've heard about that, but actually it was the Buffalo Soldier the reason why he was able to win that battle. There are 3 premises as to how the Buffalo Soldier received their name. One said it was given by the Cheyenne Indians, which was in 1877, which means wild buffalo. 2, by the Comanches in 1871. 3, by the Plains Indians. And the rationale for the name was because of the shaggy hair that the Buffalo Soldiers had, because many of them had never seen a black man before. The second one was because of the winter coats that they wore. Because during that time, because we were Buffalo Soldiers, and because we were not given the same adequate clothing that the other troops were given, then what we did, we killed buffalo, and we took their hide, and we made coats out of it. It was because of the way that we fought, that's like a scalded buffalo, a buffalo who suffered a wound after wound, yet had not died and continued to fight.
Good things must be repeated. The history of the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club. Our color represents a long history. Our colors pay tribute to African Americans of the 9th and 10th Cavalry who sacrificed their life
so that this country could be what it is today. They are a badge of courage, sacrifice, and honor, as of those who continue to serve. The National Association of the Buffalo Soldiers Troopers Motorcycle Club was established in October of 1993 in Chicago, Illinois, by Kenneth Dreammaker Thomas. His mission was to establish unity and fellowship among the motorcyclists in the Chicago area. Since then, the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers Troopers Motorcycle Club has grown from one chapter to over 120 chapters plus throughout the United States and overseas. The organization of professional men and women are to dedicate the sport of motorcycle riding and safety. We ride our motorcycles, referred to as our iron horses, to represent the horses that was ridden by the 9th and 10th Cavalry Buffalo Soldiers. Our objective is to educate those that are unfamiliar with the racism, sacrifices, and hardship that the Buffalo Soldiers of the 9th and 10th Cavalry had to endure. Our vision is to instill this knowledge into the youth today so that they can be motivated to become better citizens and leaders tomorrow. We feel that by doing this, the legacy of the Buffalo Soldiers of the past will live on forever and never ever be forgotten. Buffalo! Soldiers! Buffalo! Soldiers! Buffalo! Soldiers! And it's what? All good.
The legacy of the Buffalo Soldier began in 1866, as mentioned, but African American participation in the military continues. Some named military units you may be familiar with. However, others managed to escape American history. Just to name a few. Henry O. Flipper, the first African American to graduate from West Point. Colonel Charles Young, the third West Point grad, and the first black U.S. National Parks Superintendent. Yosemite and Sequoia National Parks, where he actually was superintendent. Benjamin O. Davis was the first African American to rise to the rank of general. Benjamin O. Davis Jr., his son, was the commander of the 332nd Fighter Group, commonly known as the Tuskegee Airmen. Cathay Williams, the only African-American female Buffalo Soldier, but her legacy was continued with females in the military, such as the 688 Postal Unit. General like Colin Powell, like Hazel Johnson, the first African-American female general. Notable units. Would you believe that there was also a bicycle unit? The bicycle unit was called the 25th Infantry Bicycle Group, and that was in 1897. Imagine the bicycles they rode in 1897. It was all male. They rode 41 days, 1,900 miles. The 369th Infantry Regiment, called the Hellfighters, World War I. The 555th, commonly called the Triple Nickel, the Parachute Infantry Battalion. The 761st Tank Battalion. Jackie Robinson, the baseball player, was a member of that unit in World War II. 78, redesignated as the 758 Tank Battalion. Of course, we mentioned the Tuskegee Airmen. We talk about the 2nd Ranger Company. The 2nd Ranger Company was all African Americans, and one of the original members of the 2nd Ranger Battalion is being eulogized this weekend. The 6888, the Central Postal Directory, was all females, and they kept the mail going. The U.S. Navy B-1 band, that was 40 African Americans who joined the U.S. Navy, and they were all centered around the area right there in Chapel Hill, and they left from Raleigh, North Carolina, going to Norfolk, Virginia, to be the first African American in the Navy that went in not as servers or caterers and so forth. There was also the Montford Point Marines, the first African American Marines. They came right out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. So North Carolina has a very, very rich history with the Buffalo Soldiers. One of the things that we as Buffalo Soldiers also attempt to do, as stated, is we want to ensure that we assist in helping with education. We have a scholarship that we give annually, and we will also be giving 2 scholarships this year. So today I'm going to ask my planning chair and my scholarship committee chair to come up and make the presentation. I'm going to ask Mrs. Melissa Wilson to come forward, and she has with her her 2 sons, CJ and Makai. And Ms. Wilson is the parent of Alyssa Wilson. And Alyssa is studying hard today and could not be here, so she's up at North Carolina A&T State University. That's right.
Ms. Harrison Wilson, on behalf of, I'll let you know that.
I want to say too, like our chapter, we've been doing scholarships for about 9 years. We've given away about $1,000 a year. As Matt said, we're giving away $2,000 this year on the national level and frontier level. Like the country is broken up into 5 frontiers, so this year there'll be a scholarship on the frontier level. We're giving away $2,000 on our chapter level, and then on national level we're giving away more money. So if you know anybody that's graduating this year from high school, rising senior going in first year of college, tell them get, all right, young man, we'll get with you, get you an application. All right. So, again, I want to thank you, Dora, for applying this year, and we hope that she can use the scholarship and help her education there. Thank you.
As we celebrated that scholarship, as well as lifting up the Buffalo Soldiers, we remind you of the words of our great jazz and blues singer, Billie Holiday. She said, "Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose." And the Bible says, and it still is new, the strong get more while the weak ones fade. If your pockets are bare, you will never make the grade. Oh, money! You got lots of friends crowding around your door. But when your money's gone, your friends won't come around you anymore. Rich relations will give you a crust of bread and such. Help yourself, but you better not take too much. Mama may have and Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. Thank y'all for allowing us to